The afternoon's going to be a busy weekend in Annagry down at Naomura because the Gaeltacht finals are on there, and one of the organisers, Damien O'Donnell, joins us now, and we're streaming as well. Damien, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. How are you?
Yeah, good. Dare I say it, the weather's going to be too good.
Yeah, I suppose looking the last few weeks, we were always checking the long weather forecast to see what the weather would be like for this weekend, and I don't think that we ever expected the weather to be so good. We were worrying about rain and everything else. Now we're worrying about sun cream and things like that. So it's a massive help for the weekend across the board. If the weather's good, everything else is a lot easier to organise with parking and volunteers and things like that. So thankfully that's on our side anyway.
Yeah, so. Absolutely, because if it's wind and rain, it definitely complicates things. Mind you, the being as sunny as it is complicates things as well, but I'm sure nothing that you can't handle. So tell us a little bit about what to expect. A lot of teams from different parts of the country, obviously.
Yeah, that's it. So probably for listeners that don't understand what the weekend it's about, it's the national festival Commertas Pelin na Gaeltacht of Gaeltacht clubs coming together. This Commertas was founded over 50 years ago, and as you said, clubs coming from all across Ireland, and not alone Gaeltacht areas, John, but now we have clubs coming from Gaelic-speaking areas outside of the Gaeltacht. Like we have two teams coming from Belfast, we have two teams coming from Dublin, and then you have areas like Waterford. We have, I think it's three teams coming from Cork. You have two teams coming from Kerry, and then if you come up along the west coast, you have Galway, Mayo, and then Donegal itself. So we have, give or take, we have nearly up to 30 teams participating over the weekend. Now, when you say 30 teams, that means that we need to have beds for those 30 teams.
I was just going to ask that. Where are they all going to stay?
That's it. So, again, John, just to explain that there's a huge committee working on this, and John Collum Gillespie is Caherla, Jimmy Boyle is secretary, and Paddy McCreary is treasurer, and then the club committee as well, and everybody else that has their own roles. But probably the beds was a big part of it to get them all, a bed to sleep in. So there's nearly 600 beds needed for players alone over the weekend. And I think this morning they've got that over the line, right, and that every player will have a cozy bed in some way to sleep in, or a corner somewhere to sleep in.
And that's before you talk about, supporters and families and stuff.
That's it. So we're expecting somewhere around 3,000 people in the area over the weekend. We have teams staying, you could say, from the outskirts of Dunlow, all around the lower Rosses, into Gweedore, and some then in Gartahart as well. And supporters are staying from Letterkenny, you could say, to Donegal town. So
that's great.
It's huge, and we're very lucky in this area with the Irish colleges. A lot of them have bunk beds for the summer months, and a lot of people, are used to preparing for crowds like this in a way. So probably only for that we would have difficulty in getting places for these to stay. And then a lot of other people have been so helpful with space in their homes, or a local accommodation, that everybody's trying their best to make sure that nobody is left without space. So it leaves for a great weekend, John, if they're all staying in the area. And there's a huge spin-off as well. If you look at it from a business point of view, it's massive. So
sure,
a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, even the campsites are going to be full given the weather.
Exactly, yeah, and this June bank holiday weekend is usually a busy weekend anyway in this area with tourists coming to Donegal, and last weekend with the bank holiday in the north, as we would say, it was a busy weekend as well with tourists coming. So
good start to the season then.
Definitely, and I think the local businesses appreciate that the work, like this work, didn't start 2 or 3 weeks ago for the club. This has been going on since it was announced in 2016. So, as we said, businesses in the area support the club so much through the bad times, and now maybe this is a chance for us to get so many people in to give a little back. As I said, every bed is taken up in the area, which means every shop's going to be busy, every restaurant's going to be busy. All the pubs are going to be full. There's a huge spin-off for everybody. So, and and even in the lead up, John, as you know, to prepare for an event like this, there's so much money spent and invested in the infrastructure, which means local people were employed to do that sort of work. And you talk about signage and the marquee and the bar and food, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a huge operation. So,
So this is the culmination of a lot of planning and a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and it's great because so many times all the work is done, and then a lot of it is undone by the weather, but not on this occasion, hopefully.
well, hopefully. So
Hopefully, I don't want to jinx it, but
we're
hopefully.
we're still probably a couple of days away from Friday, and it runs right through probably until the last game on Monday evening. So you're talking about probably 7-8 o'clock on Monday when things are sort of wrapping up at the banks, and then we'll see how things go then later on Monday night if teams are staying or whatever. But so it's a long process, and as you said, it's been years of work coming to this point, and a lot of money invested to upgrade our grounds, and probably only for the help of state organisations. We could safely say, John, since 2016 that there's about €500,000 spent at our grounds at the banks to have the place ready. There's a new stand built there. Just so much work. Anybody that was there probably 5-6 years ago, and if they came here this weekend, they would really get a shock. And we're very proud of that as a club, that we can, we're up there now with one of the best facilities, not only in Donegal but in the country. So the weather will help us to show that off at the weekend.
To showcase it at the weekend. And it's more than just the football. It's a chance to socialise as well, and it's a family occasion in many ways.
For sure, yeah. As you said, the football is one thing, but then people have to socialise, and it's a coming together of Gaels and people from across. There's so many people, club people and other people that are living abroad that come home, especially for this weekend every year. Like, for example, next year this will take place in Cork. So there's so much taking place more than the football. Every night we have live music in the marquee, local musicians. We're very blessed again in this area that we have great musicians in County Donegal, some of them coming back together again, especially for this weekend. And then so that will all be taking place, and then there are other things that take place. We have the Calling Gaelic competition, where 10 lady representatives from the different clubs will come together. It's like a mini Mary from Dunlo competition or Rosa Tralee competition, and there's always great interest in that as well. So they will be away on tours all day Saturday and Sunday to get a taste of the area. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Anybody that has probably wants to find out more, the social media platforms are there. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Commertis Pelin Gaeltart, the FHD. And we'll update that as we're nearing the weekend, John.
And on the pitch, the action starts on Friday.
The action starts on Friday. Two local clubs, Gweedore and Gael Enide from Fanad. They will kick things off, you could say, or to throw in on Friday night. And then there are matches starting from 11 a.m. on Saturday. And just probably it's a good chance on behalf of the committee and John Collum, the Cahill, asked me to say this, that we're very, very thankful to our neighbouring clubs, Gweedore and Cloghania. They're providing their fields for this weekend for the extra games. As I said, we have so many games to facilitate this weekend. So on Saturday and Sunday, those games will be spread between, you could say, the Rosses and Gweedore and the lower Rosses as well. And then there are also so many clubs helping us as officials this weekend. We need umpires, we need lines people, we need referees, and clubs like Cloughaneely and other clubs across the county couldn't do any more for us. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's just great, and it just shows that everybody's coming together. As I said, it's not just our area that's going to get something from this, but the whole of West Donegal, and as I said, from Letterkenny to Donegal town as well, people are staying.
Great, and a great opportunity to showcase the county, and it's brilliant that the sun is shining for it as well. Well, listen, Damien, to yourself and the committee and everybody involved in any small or big way, I hope it all goes to plan and hope it exceeds your expectations this weekend. And that's the Celtic finals, which are on, well, centred in Annagry, but as you say, spread around a wider area with matches elsewhere as well. Damien, thanks a million.
Good John. Slant. Bye now.
The All-Ireland Championship continues this weekend for Donegal, with Derry coming to Ballybuffet on Sunday afternoon. After